So I got this thing running yesterday, and cold start, needs a lot of work, but I'm sure it wasn't tuned in 30-degree weather. But anyway, so this is the Gen 4 5.3. It's got the same cam that was in the original motor when it was brought to me, and the Holley 100-pound injectors were within 2 pounds per hour flow rate of the ones that were in the truck. So Michael checked over the file and said, roll with it, it'll run well enough to get to me, and he can finish dialing it in with this engine and all. So right now procrastinating on trying to make this downpipe go inside the frame rail and under the truck. So I was trying to get a little heat in it since it's so cold out here. It'll warm my hands on the exhaust while I'm taking it apart. But so right now it's 4-inch, goes down outside the frame rail, rolls under, and then goes back. And then it has some kind of a massive 5-inch muffler on it, because it has a transition to a 4-inch to 5-inch into a muffler. I think it has a 5-inch tailpipe portion where it comes up and over the axle. I don't know how well you can see it. There it is. There's some of it. So it goes up and over the axle. Let's see. There you go. So that's it. And got some slicks on it. 28 actually. They look kind of small. But so anyway, battery was kind of weak. I had to jump it off yesterday when I got it going, but at least I got the reluctor wheel on right, because my buddy had me paranoid about that, because he did it on his. He put his together, tried to crank it up, and wasn't getting crank signal, and I didn't have one to look at to go off at the time. I had the crank out and was switching everything. So I watched a video or two on YouTube and was pretty confident that I had it going the right way. And then when I pulled his engine apart, his engine was still in the truck when I was doing the getting this one ready to go. Had the crank out and all. So I double checked, triple checked, quadruple checked his to this one, and so it worked out. And then it had the cam sensors now in the front, whereas before it was in the back. So it's a Casper Electronics 40-inch harness, and it plugs in back there and comes up. But you have to have that little jumper harness that goes on the timing cover. It plugs into that and then goes up. So I don't know why they did that, but the Casper harness, the wires are pinned the same on each side of the connector, and then that little jumper harness actually switches the outside wires, because from the Gen 3 to the Gen 4, it is different. So I was looking at that before I put it together, because I knew that there was a difference. And again, I don't know why Chevrolet switches it in that little jumper harness, and the connectors are different, so you can't plug the Casper harness straight into the cam sensor. So I don't understand that. But I think what I've done in the past is unpin the Casper harness, flip the wires, and then use the end off the little jumper harness, so it just plugs straight into the cam sensor, and you don't have all that extra stuff, because it makes it go down to the bottom of the pan down here and then come all the way back up here and then under there. So I don't know why they did that, but well, I guess and one that has the cam sensor in the front, the pigtail's up here, so it just plugs in from the bottom. So that's probably why. But anyway, it runs decent enough. Like I say, I wanted to get it together, get it running, make sure everything looked good, and then try to tackle routing this downpipe in, and I'm really not looking forward to that. But I got to prove to Michael that it can be done. So the only problem I have that I foresee is once I make it where because it's going to have to roll under right here and then immediately roll down and then roll back to tie back into his exhaust. And I'm pretty confident I can do it. I'm going to have to redo the crossover because where the wastegate is right in the way. So, and where it comes out of the log, I'm going to have to cut all that off and redo the whole crossover. And my concern is that once I get it fit up and in there, getting it out to be able to fully weld everything to get it back down in there. That's my big concern at this point. So hindsight's 2020, and I was gonna try to get this done with the other engine while it was still in the truck, and then when I did this one, do it, because if I would have had it fit up prior to, I could have had everything tacked together, and then when I had the engine out, fully weld everything up, and then put the exhaust back in there, and then put the engine. But I mean, that would have been way too easy. So but yeah, I'm curious to see how this one does. So this one has 799 heads on it, and I think it has flat tops. I don't remember, to be honest. But the other motor had dish pistons and 862 heads. So to be honest, I don't know much about the 5.3s. The compression, I think on this one's about 10-1. I think these motors were 10-1. The Gen 4 5.3 with the 799 head. So I don't know. I'm really be curious to see what kind of power it makes this time, because with the Gen 3 5.3 with 500,000 miles on it, yep, Michael said it made 683, I believe. So it'd be nice if it made at least the same, obviously. But anyway, I'll have to keep you posted as to what it ends up making. I think Michael has a YouTube channel now, so you'll have to go check him out. His name's Michael Howell. So check out his YouTube channel. I think he's got a couple videos up. He might explain things better than I do. I'm sure he does. But anyway, I'm gonna pull this thing in and start cutting up the metal. And I did take somebody's advice. They told me on the Portaband to get a finer blade tooth count on the saw blade. So I went to Harbor Freight and got the finest quality blades they had. So they only had two, unfortunately, but the one I had did that other caprice thing. So I don't remember how many pie cuts I ended up having on that thing, but that blade lasted through all of them. So I guess those blades are about $7 a piece. So it did pretty good then. So we'll see how this thing turns out. Hopefully I can get it to fit under there and regain our full turning radius on the front wheels with these. I think these are Camaro wheels. Yeah, they look like Camaro wheels. Yeah, they say Camaro on it. 50 years of Camaro. So might have to put them on the Caprice, see how they look on the Caprice. But that's it for now.